Right. We're live. Hello. Hi. Real impromptu thing we're doing here. Appreciate all the early birds, man. Love to see over 100 of you already here hanging out. Appreciate you, Alaska Forever. Hottest Bethesda YouTuber? I don't know. We got some real sexy people in this community. Real tough to say. But if you want to give me the crown for that, I mean, look, I say stay sexy, stay active for a reason. So I gotta live up to my own words at the end of every video. But good to see you all. Appreciate you being here. Hello, Noctis, Lionel, Cold, Adoring Chad, great name. Yodeling Llama, always great to see you. Longtime viewer. James Lindsay, hello. Kylo Green. Don't like the Flyers logo there, Kylo. As a Rangers fan, you know, I'll allow it for now. But good to see you nonetheless. Hello, Layla Shaw. Yeah, hope everyone is doing fantastic right now. Like I said, really excited to be here and to just talk some gaming news with everybody. You know, because like I said, this was a little bit more of a impromptu sort of conversation about, you know, what's going on with Ubisoft, what's going on with Fable, what's going on with other stuff. I got a bunch of news lined up that I want to talk about here. Wow. Okay. All my chat's updating now. That whole time I paused for a moment because as I was talking, the chat wasn't updating. I'm like, is anyone here right now? I was like, did I, because you know, I'm like new to this whole, I shouldn't say new to streaming. I used to stream a shit ton. I'm trying to get back into it. What I meant to say was that I haven't streamed in current day in a while. And so like when I didn't see the chat updating, I was like, oh God, did I like press the wrong button or something like that? But yeah, good to see so many of you. Jagged Lines, hello. Good to see you. Celestia, hello. Lee Martin, good to see you, my friend. Happy you're here. Love you dearly, my friend. But yeah, just really awesome to be sitting down here chatting with you all some gaming news. Like I said, or I was in the process of saying, I got a bunch of news lined up today, and I want to try something a little bit different. You're going to get your standard Mr. Matty video today. That's scheduled for 6 p.m. We're going to talk about the Fallout remakes and whatnot. But what I have encountered, you haven't fallen off that hard yet, Matty. Yet, you say, Stefano. Come on now. But what I want to try out is talking some gaming news live and just seeing where it goes, because we spend a lot of time on the videos we put up already, like across Retro Rebound and Mr. Matty. And I was like, there's stuff I want to talk about, and I already do Defining Duke, but like that doesn't have high visibility. And there's so many topics I am passionate about, like this Ubisoft news. I'm like, yeah, I want to talk about this. I've been a fan of Ubisoft like my whole life. And this is a huge change in what's going on here. So, you know, but I already had a video slot picked up for today with the video we're dropping on the Fallout remake rumors today. Tomorrow's developer direct. I'm like, well, when am I going to post this when the news is old? So I was like, let me go live. Let's see how it goes. I got a whole little format here that a friend put together for me on a template on Google Docs. And I'm like, let me just pull some links in and whatnot, because the thing I've got to adjust to most with streaming is that I can't do retakes. I can't do any retakes. So I'm so accustomed to like when I'm talking, I guess I have to think of more like a podcast where I'm fine over there. But when I'm talking and I'm recording my videos and I like mess up my sentence or I forget where the point I was going to because I went on a tangent, I'm usually like, okay, like I'll just make a note and we'll edit that out. But now we're doing it live. We're basically doing like 5 videos live here because I got a bunch of news I want to talk about. And so we'll see. I think it'd be a good challenge for myself. Are we going to see you on the cancel or on the Fallout Shelter show? Leo, no, I didn't sign up for that. It was not something I was like super keen on doing. A lot of people wanted me to do it. And I kind of found it was interesting. I guess part of what scared me away is I was like, oh, I actually have a chance of being selected here, because when you signed up, they were asking for like all your socials and your following and stuff. And so I was like, oh boy, like I'm like prime material for them, pardon the pun. But I'm prime material for them to pick out and put on the show. And I'm like, I don't know if I really want to be part of that, you know, especially I don't know where Fallout's going to be in a couple of years, man. So Yeah. Jagged lines. You're exactly right. We're going to get hot takes. No recording. Yeah, there's no walking back. That's the thing that I also worry about with streaming. It's so different nowadays compared to when I used to do it. When I used to do it, it was a much more forgiving environment and people weren't looking to clip you constantly. Now we're trying to talk some news live. You say one thing wrong, get the information wrong. You say something stupid. See you on Twitter, man. All right. Poppy Sergeant Spanky. Great name. Thank you for the super chat. I bought the rotating shelf you own. Thank you. It's funny. I was talking to my wife about them. You guys can't see it right now. I'll rotate the camera just a little bit so you can kind of see it in the corner over there. This might be blocking it. Let me lower this. Now you see. Yeah, so I was talking to my wife about those shelves and saying how I'm surprised more collectors don't have it. Every time I see like people from the Retro Rebound community share their collections or I get tweeted, I feel like the rotating shelf just saves a lot of space and you can store way more games on it than any bookshelf I've ever owned. Like I only need 2 of these and I try to just manage within these 2 towers. Because it's just like, once I started to get beyond that, which I got close to, and I slimmed down my collection dramatically, then I realized like this is way too much. I'm not going to play all these. But I highly recommend them. You can get them at Office Depot. So, yeah. Kev! Oh my God, it's so good to see my boy Kev. Man, if you say one thing I perceive as wrong, I'll see you on Twitter. Exactly, right? That's how it goes these days. So I'll see you all there. Red Band, thank you for your super chat. Please play Legend of Dragoon. You would love it. Yes, I actually have... I think I can... I don't know if that's it. I don't want to waste our time here because we got so much to get into. I just want to hang and chat for a little bit before we get started. But Legend of Dragoon is in my collection, not in the traditional way. I have a copy of it from GameStop, and it came in 4 discs, and they were like 4 slips. You can find it in one of my many unboxings for GameStop on Retro Rebound. Are we talking about good or bad news, Rob Overma? I think I'm saying your name right. We're talking good and bad news. Definitely leading with bad news, for sure. But yeah, I want to play Legend of Dragoon Red Bandit. I do have it in my collection. It's on my list of JRPGs I want to cross off. Oh, some people are saying the audio cut. Oh, some people are saying the audio is here. I don't know. I'll keep talking though. Someone asked me if I'm going live for the developer direct tomorrow, and I will be. Yeah, it seems like it was an ad or something. It might just be my connection. I don't know. First time I've gone live in a while. Appreciate everyone giving me the heads up though. If the audio leaves and comes back and continues to be an issue, I'll look into it on my end. But refresh if it's a problem on your end. But yeah, I'll be live tomorrow for the developer direct. I'm aiming to go live an hour before that show, and just to kind of hang out like we're doing now, talk, kind of create expectations, see where we're at, and then from there, we'll watch the show together. I'll make my video afterwards, probably just talking about Fable. I don't think I'm gonna make a whole developer direct recap. Like I think I'm just gonna talk about Fable only because I don't. What am I gonna have to say about Forza Horizon? What do I have to say about Beast of Reincarnation? Whatever this 4th game is apparently an indie game, and that's cool and all. But just I'm thinking about like what appeals to me most. For better or for worse, man, the comments on yesterday's Fable video, a lot of y'all were like, "Yeah, who's gonna tell him?" But I was like, "Please be good." So I just hope it's great, man. We'll talk about Fable in a little bit here today. We got a couple of super chats. Thank you guys for supporting the streams. Sorry, the software on my end's being stupid as hell too. Is the bad news for Fable? Not yet, Alan. Not yet. We'll see tomorrow if it gets worse. But right now we're just talking leaks on the art front and what it means for choice and consequence because we actually can see that visualized. Let's see here. Why can't I get to? I'm trying to get to the super chats that we just got. Let me refresh my page. You guys are refreshing your page. I'm going to refresh mine. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Yeah, I had to refresh on my end. It actually may have been YouTube that was fucking up. Okay, we got Lee Martin with the super chat. Hope Fable is great. Are you reviewing Crimson Desert? I want to review Crimson Desert. That's one of the few very big games I have on my list for this year. So I hope Fable's great too. But yeah, with Crimson Desert, that's one I do want to tackle. It's just always captured my mind of like, how'd you make a game this big? What's within this world? Is it worthwhile? So I want to check that one out. I'm kind of burnt on open world games otherwise, so I'm making room for that one. Decatron, thank you for your super chat. I've been purging my collection that's been over $200 on Mercari for OG Xbox and 360 games the other night. I have a problem. It's always a recycling thing, right? We go through those phases. I think it's good that you're aware enough to get rid of stuff, so don't beat yourself up too much. And as long as you're not putting yourself in a bad financial position, you're clear in my book, brother. Lamar, thank you for your super chat. Play Severed Chains. It's on PC, the port of Legend of Dragoons. When you said Severed Chains, what game was I thinking of? I was thinking of Unchained Echoes, I think is what I was thinking of. I'll have to look into that. I've not heard of that, Lamar, but thank you for your super chat. Interesting idea you have, Maddie. I love it. Thank you, Mr. MR. You tell me how to pronounce it. Yeah. I want to just talk news live and like I said, kind of create space for the stuff I can't cover in like traditional Maddie videos, and obviously Retro Rebound's like its own thing. We're not going to talk news over there. Like maybe philosophical stuff, discuss that type of stuff. But all right, we've been hanging around for a little bit now, and there's a decent amount of you here. Been live for about 10 minutes. Let's talk some gaming news. Let's see if this whole template that I've ironed out here works out. You guys get to be the guinea pigs for real. Like you get to see the start of something new, maybe. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. And for those of you who super chat while I'm talking, what we'll do is kind of like do topic blocks. Like we'll pause in after subjects. I want to get your thoughts as we go along here. But I'm also not trying to like overly structure this. I kind of want this just to be whatever you guys want to make it, So let's have some fun here. Let's see where it all goes. Oh, I forgot to promote this stream on Twitter. Give me one sec here. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Why not, right? Okay. All right. Alpha testers. I'm really giving you guys the AAA video game experience right now. Truly. In fact, I'm going to test something out right now. I have a Stream Deck set up for once. I went over this past weekend and started setting up with different scenes. How about, let's see if it works. Hold on. I got to open up OBS here. Let's see. I have a Zoom. Oh, look at that. I'm popping off right now. Look at that. So if I want to emphasize something, I can. Pretty cool, huh? It's cool for me. I don't know. I've realized as I talk to other content creators, I work way harder rather than smarter. And like these types of things that I'm doing here are like edited in very deliberately. And I'm like, you're saying while I'm talking in the middle of a video, I could be like, so, and then pop it back out. I'm like, that's fucking amazing. So I don't know, dude. I don't know. Cool stuff. Okay. All right, my alpha testers here. Let's have some fun. This first story here is obviously the headline here. It's Ubisoft, and they're doing some Ubisoft things here. So let's switch on over to, hold on, I got another button for this one. Whoa, look at that. I realize now I should probably hide the chat for this section, or I should resize it. It's perfect. You guys are beautiful guinea pigs right now. Let's scale it down, put it above my head here. Yeah, that looks good to me. At least for now. This'll do for now. We're just, like I said, we're testing things out here. This should be all right. Okay. First order of business here is what's going on with Ubisoft. So this is from Video Games Chronicle, and they're doing a major reset at Ubisoft. 6 games canned, 7 delayed. That's wild unto its own. And 2 studios closed. And when we start to really get into the thick of this news here, and sort of what's been canceled, what hasn't been canceled, by the way, and what's been delayed versus the rumors that were surrounding some of these games, that's what really, I think, made these stories set fire beyond, like, what the hell is going on over at Ubisoft. See, beta testers, this is what I'm telling you. That, like, on moment thing I did there, that would have got cut out in a video. So I got to become a better speaker. This is all, like, a really good challenge for your boy. All right, so let's go over it a little bit here. Here's what Video Games Chronicles writes. They say, Assassin's Creed publisher Ubisoft has detailed a major reset for the company that'll split its operation into 5 separate divisions. I found this aspect really interesting, by the way. When we get down to this article, and it's a decent read here, You'll see. I think it's very surprising what Ubisoft's doing. I could see it working out for them, but it does mean there's been a lot of sacrifice to get to this point. The organizational restructuring, which has been in the works for a year, is designed to help the French publisher reclaim its creative leadership. I'm sorry, this shit like that I see, I'm like, I can't help but laugh at. They've been so far gone for so long. And drive a sharp rebound, it said on Wednesday, following a turbulent few years of disappointing game launches and plummeting stock value that resulted in a minority sale to Tencent, which resulted in Vantage Studios, as we've covered here on the channel. As a result, 6 games have been canceled, 7 delayed, and 2 studios closed, the company confirmed during a media briefing attended by VGC. The 6 canceled games did not meet Ubisoft's enhanced quality expectations. It said, including the much delayed Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, a mobile title, and 4 other unannounced games, including 3 original IPs here. In addition, Ubisoft said it's delayed 7 games to ensure they meet quality expectations. It did not say which games had slipped, but confirmed that one of the 7 titles was planned for April 2020 or before April 2026, which will now be released before April 2027. And I think it's this game right here. All right. It's this game right here that, no doubt in my mind, is Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. We'll get into why. I want to kind of read the rest of all of this, because I think it's just interesting context as to where Ubisoft is. Because, again, you have to remember, the conversation we were having before this news hit was like, this year could be a little bit of a turnaround for Ubisoft. Like, they're taking more time to focus on quality after getting the shit kicked out of them online. Cool. On top of that, you've got a Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, which is apparently shaping up. We've heard rumors that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is shaping up. Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake feels like a slam dunk. People love that game. These should be all safe bets, right? And that's what Ubisoft kind of needs right now, is like safe bets to remind people of the things that they once did that we loved from them. So to me, when they cancel things and delay by a year, one of the things you're looking forward to most, it really changes the entire feel for where this company is headed. So they conducted a thorough review over December and January. This led to a decision to refocus their portfolio. This will support the objective to the objective to return to exceptional levels of quality on the open world adventure segment and step change the group's position in the games as a service native experiment. God, why would they ever do that? As part of the reset, its Halifax and Stockholm studios, which were previously announced, have been shut down. So yeah, they've not only lost all of these games, most notably was Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, but they've shut down 2 studios as well. And they're considering selling other assets. So whatever they deem is not valuable, they're going to get rid of, I guess. And what that will be is going to be interesting. I can tell you for damn sure it's not Assassin's Creed. Let's keep going, though, here. Ubisoft is accelerating its cost reduction initiatives, it said, is now aiming to reduce its fixed cost by an additional 200 million euros over the next 2 years. Wouldn't directly comment on the number of layoffs, but I'm sure we'll learn that over time here. There are some people who will be focused on other projects. They'll be refocused, rather, so they're going to move to different silos of the company. But this is the interesting part of the conversation here to me, is this model right here. And we can, I got a button for this one. We can go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. And you'll see here that they've blown it up into a bunch of creative houses here. Creative House 1, 2, well, technically Vantage Studios is Creative House 1. This is the investment from Tencent. And there's Creative House 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they're trying to create a network here where they're all kind of like sharing resources and working together. And so this is their infrastructure, basically. And that they'll say in the article, all these creative houses kind of run their own business, which again, I think can be great, because if they don't got to worry too much about what's up here, vision, strategy, capital allocation, and this Ubisoft HQ is like shutting down great ideas, which they have a history of doing. If we can avoid that part, then maybe this structure works out. But that's a very, very optimistic point of view from your boy. Okay, let's keep going here. Get rid of this magnifier. They detailed each of these creative houses. So the second creative house is co-op and competitive shooter experiences. So that's Division, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell. The third creative house is select sharp live experiences. So For Honor, Crew, Riders Republic, Brawlhalla, Skull and Bones. Surprised this last one's still even being mentioned. Is that's That's still around, right? Like, it's crazy to think about. Creative House 4 is going to focus on fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes. When I was reading this, I was a little confused because it says Anno, which I know Anno is pretty popular. Might and Magic, which I don't remember when the last time we saw something for that is. Rayman's here. I haven't seen that in a while. Prince of Persia, ironically, is here. And Beyond Good and Evil is here, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Creative House 5 is aimed at reclaiming our position in casual and family-friendly environments. So Just Dance, Uno, Hasbro, which, I mean, remember all these Ubisoft streams they've done in the past during the summer showcases. Just Dance was always there. So they're trying to reclaim that as well. I guess they lost their grip on that. They also have 4 new IP in development, such as the recently acquired MOBA March of Giants, which they said they'll announce to these creative houses later. It's worded a bit like there will be a 6th or 5th creative house, however you want to describe it here, but it sounds, I read it sort of like they're going to take those games and put them in one of these sets of houses here. So that's their structure here. And then afterwards, we have comments from Yves Guillemot on talking about AAA and how it's become more selective and, you know, it's tough nowadays, but at the same time, when successful, you have more financial potential than ever. So they're looking to make more money than ever. And so they're transforming their model to produce exceptional games and focusing on the 2 pillars being open world and games as a service. And I'm guessing the reason they shut down Prince of Persia, I think it's because it's not open world. If I just did a full replay of Sands of Time, funny enough, for this remake, I had a whole video that's edited and done on Retro Rebound that I guess I'm going to can now, because it was kind of talking about the idea of like what a remake could do with this set of ideas here. But it's not an open world game. It all takes place within the palace. And it's really a great game. It was back when Ubisoft had like a lot of aura. And so, yeah, they're putting these games into these creative houses now, focusing on making open world games, games as a service stuff. And that's where we're at now. So that's like the first point in all of this here. You've got studio closures in Ubisoft Halifax and Stockholm. You've got a bunch of canceled games, most notably Sands of Time Remake. And then you have delayed games. And I think that's, of course, the Black Flag remake here. We do have a comment here from Tom Henderson, who was, as we'll talk about in a little bit, kind of the lead on a lot of this Ubisoft news and remains that way. He said the original plan for the Black Flag remake was to launch March 19th as a digital-only release. The game was planned to go gold in the first week of February. So the thing I'm confused about here is, as we'll talk about, there's so much smoke and fire around this. Like, okay, let's just get into it, right? Ubisoft said this, right? They said this last year. They said they're going to release Prince of Persia Sands of Time Remake by 2026. This was covered by Insider Gaming. And they mentioned here in an earnings call that that's when it'll release by. The news was subtly announced in its earnings presentation today, where the company said that its next new bookings will be stable, but that it'll be delaying flagship titles to focus on quality, which again, we're seeing the process repeat again and again. The following games are announced to be released: Auto 17, 117, Prince of Persia Sands of Time Remake, Rainbow Six Mobile, Division Resurgence. And so you just cross this one off that list now. But it was given that kind of window of January to March 2026. And why this is important here is because of what Insider Gaming claimed ahead of the holiday break, which is that we were going to get this really soon here. They said, according to sources close to the game, Prince of Persia Sands of Time Remake is scheduled to release in mid-January 2026. And it was possible even a shadow drop was being discussed. Before that, the update was also that we were going to get the Black Flag remake within that same window as well. And that the main way they started to narrow it down was Sands of Time remake was coming before the Black Flag remake. So I'm just looking at this like, how did we have all of this information from Ubisoft, including now Tom Henderson saying like this was the date that they were going to release Black Flag remake at March 16th, digital only release. It was going to go gold next month. How does it get a year-long delay? And then how does a game that was supposed to be shadow dropped this month get completely shut down and not get a similar delay? Is it just not aligned with the company's focus anymore? Keep in mind as well that there were website rumors that that people were picking up on. And that's the other confusing part. Like Ubisoft was, let me find it real quick here. Hang on, because let's see here. Sands of Time remake website. Let's see here. Where was it? Yeah, Gaming Leaks and Rumors had it covered here. And then it went over to the Prince of Persia one. You'll see here, like, a new website found, and domain name, Prince of Persia sandsofTime.com. So they were getting this thing ready. I don't know what happened. So that was all the smoke and fire. Now, somehow in all of this, right, you'd think with all the canceled games that what would occur is Sands of Time being canceled likely means, okay, if this was about to release, then games that have been in development for, I don't know, 18 years. Check this one out, man. Check this one out. When I was reminded of this, I was like, no freaking way here. 2008 announcement trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2. Look at that. Remember that? I haven't even played the first one yet because I don't want to set myself up for disappointment, but this is where we were at. This is where we're at. Also, by the way, I think I got my volume off for the trailer, so apologies if you can't hear it. But I want to keep my flow, so let's keep going. So this was announced 18 years ago. Math, right? And yet this is still alive and well. Last update we got here was this. November 2025. They were hiring. Here, it's a job listing for a technical sound designer at Ubisoft Montpellier that is working on Beyond Good and Evil 2. And Tom Henderson did recently say this was progressing well. So, I mean, we can see that it is not among the list of canceled titles. I feel like if they were to cancel Beyond Good and Evil 2, that would have been as part of the announcement with Sands of Time remake. So somehow this game is like the ultimate sunk cost fallacy. I mean, I don't want it to go anywhere. I don't want any of these games to get canceled, but somehow that's still hanging around. And last thing before I pause and I interact with chat here, it's so funny because I'm sitting here doing all this. I have not looked at chat the whole time. And it's like, imagine like my audio went, my video cut out, and I'm just doing all of this by myself. Who knows? All right. The other thing that I noticed here was Julian Garrity just left Ubisoft here. And for those who don't know Julian Garrity here, let me get his face. You might recognize him from, he was the head, I think, creative director, Star Wars Outlaws. But if you look at his credits, this is a Ubisoft lifer, dude. Look at that. Ubisoft lifer. 09, only Ubisoft. And he's here like IP development for a lot of this. But creative director, The Crew, Division 1, Division 2, which I think these games are great. Division 1 and 2 are great. Star Wars Outlaws, even after the updates, but this guy's been at Ubisoft for a while. And what I find really interesting is I have this. Actually, I have to get my audio up and running here because you guys got to hear what he just recently said, which is in this interview here that Division 3 would be a monster. Like, take a listen to this.
They know by heart they're going to be transformed. So the Division 3 is in production, right? This is not a secret. It's been announced. It's shaping up to be a monster. I can't really say anything more than that, but this is within these walls in Massive. We are working extremely hard on something that I think will be as big an impact as Division 1 was. There's a team in Paris.
Yeah, like really strong words. Sounds like someone very committed. See, there you go. There's your pop zoom for emphasis. Very committed, right? I think this guy's here to stay. He's been the head of Division 1, Division 2. He's taking an interview. Everything seems to be going smoothly. And also, hey, when you think of the live service genre, kind of wide open. Like, there's no Destiny 2 in the way. Warframe's doing its own thing. Arc Raiders is doing its own thing. Like, people are looking for that Destiny substitute. No Destiny 3 on the horizon. Marathon's up next, which is kind of tackling the extraction shooter genre. So Now you just got this big, wide open space for Division to slot itself in nicely. And so you think this guy would hang around for that. But instead, what we learned here, Battlefield Studios. And with the pop-up, guys. Oh, my God. But he was the executive producer on the Tom Clancy's Division franchise, and he departed Massive to join Battlefield Studios. And he just, it says here, he just commented that the Division 3 will be a monster and have the impact of Division 1, which I think Division 1 is an awesome game. I love the Dark Zone. I spent a lot of time with that. But what you see here is like, oh, he left, and then this news hit. So I think he caught wind that there was a lot of change on the way here. And ultimately, that's what you're left with here, is a Ubisoft kind of in shambles. And I wonder what that means for something like a Division 3. I think that would be a big part of Ubisoft's live service plans. I don't think it goes anywhere, but for such a major leader to go, all these projects to be canceled, the restructuring, hell of a time at Ubisoft. Hell of a time. All right, time to catch up on chat. How did I do? I've never done that before, so that was basically me doing a live video. Let's see what we got here. I got to refresh chat on my end. Live review from the audience here. Okay. I'm going to catch up on your super chats as well, guys. Doing great. Excellent. Thanks, guys. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I had fun. That felt good. That felt like a good take. So, yeah, that's... I had to basically try to figure out how we could get a video format going for streams. And I say it like that because I organize my stuff in bullet points, and I'm like, how can I do that on stream and make sure I'm not just flying off the cuff here? Hey, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Cool. All right, cool. That makes me really happy. Yeah, I also thought this might be cool because you guys get to kind of see a peek behind the curtain. I wouldn't call it like a live video recording because, well, maybe there's an idea there. But yeah, like I thought this would be kind of fun, and I'm just glad to see you guys are enjoying it. Appreciate the positive words here. Yeah, the other reason I wanted to do this, what happened to the flash cutout? Sean, that's a huge callback there. What did I do with that? I think I donated it. Because I didn't have room for it anywhere. That was a great gift. My buddy Ivan got that for me. Natty Unfiltered has been refreshing to see. Thank you. All right. Let's catch up on some of these super chats. Appreciate you guys supporting this stream here. By the way, that's the Ubisoft segment. I want to talk to you about Ubisoft for a little bit. We still have also to go through today the Fable leaks. That's up next. We're going to talk about... What else do I have on the docket here for you guys? Highguard. We're going to talk about it not paying for its final trailer slot. Didn't get a chance to make a video following up on that. And then the next Sonic game. I gotta take care of myself too out here, guys. Come on now. All right. Uncharted Wolf, thank you for your super chat. What are the big PS3 games you want to get to soon? Thank you for writing in about that. Yeah, that's a little retro rebound call out there. Oh, okay. PS3 games. Infamous, of course. I've been enjoying going through those, but I want to wrap those up. Uncharted. I want to play through Uncharted 1 through 4. I played Uncharted 1 and 2. I didn't play much of 3. I dropped it. And then obviously because of that, I didn't play 4. I didn't play Lost Legacy. I just kind of want to see what all the buzz is about. I don't know. I'm not like a big Naughty Dog style player. So it's possible that I just bounce off of it. But I have a close friend who loves these games, swears by them. So I kind of want to just play them and understand them better. I feel like it's important to have those under your belt. I mean, I love The Last of Us, at least part 1. Part 2 is amazing in its gameplay. I do not like its story. But I feel like I owe it to myself to experience that era of Naughty Dog. So that's on the list. Folklore, I want to finish as well. I want to replay the Killzone games. I was just talking to our editor, Dan, and he's playing Ratchet and Clank, like 1 for the first time, and he's never played any Ratchet games. He only played Jak and Daxter during that PS2 platformer era, so I'm really excited for him, but that got me in the mood for some Ratchet and Clank. Those are the main ones that come to mind. Appreciate you asking, though. Bearded Husband with the write-in. Thoughts on the trailer for the Darth Maul show? I've stayed away from Star Wars stuff for a little bit now because I got a lot of catch-up work to do, specifically in relation to Darth Maul, because I know he's in either Rebels or Clone Wars. I can't remember which he appears in a major comeback-style way. I think it's both. I could be wrong, but I want to finish. That's a show I owe myself so much to finishing. I got to like season 4 or 5, and I stopped. I love what I've seen of the show, and I haven't even gotten to the, quote, good stuff, end quote. So that trailer I haven't seen because I want to like experience his return first and then look into more Darth Maul stuff. It's like the one spoiler aspect of the series, or the one aspect I have spoiled for me with the new Clone Wars content. Let's see here. Halo Cheese says he had a military friend recommend Haunting Ground. Interesting. I've not heard of that. I'll look it up. Creamed Asparagus. Thank you for your super chat. Word comes in that another settlement needs our help. I'll mark it on your map. Thank you. I'm on my way. Can says Phil Spencer will return in Avengers Doomsday. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love that. Cybo with your $10 super chat. Thank you guys so much for supporting this. This is really cool. I don't understand why Ubisoft isn't at minimum doing HD collections of older titles to test interest in these IPs. As a Splinter Cell fan, I take that at any point. It's so funny you say that. Hang on. Where is it? Yeah. So they did do that. It's almost like they just need to re-release this and people would be happy for a while. I feel like that's one of the weird things we got away from with games nowadays is like this stuff was simple, sure. And yes, there's a lingering bit of like, oh, what could they do next? But that's what these are for. Get new people in who have never played these games, miss the boat, and then get us our imagination sparked. So when that new thing comes out, whether it's a remake of like something from this trilogy or it's a new Splinter Cell game, like it's all there. We're there on the same page. I feel like we got rid of that mindset for some reason. It's strange to me. So yeah, I agree. I wish more companies just did HD re-releases. Like it just doesn't always need to be a remake, a rethinking, a reimagining. Like a lot of times I do just want that thing from my childhood. So I'm with you on that. Is gaming for nerds? Thank you for your super chat. Tencent must have said we need games that we can monetize for. Try again. We'll see. We'll sell $100 AC skins. That's a good point. Tencent's involvement in this, we have to remember that's like a shadow operation, just reaching in and reorganizing how Ubisoft works. Because now that they got their money in there, I mean, Ubisoft would be fucked without them, right? So I agree. They're looking at what they can monetize for sure. Devin Williams, thank you for your super chat. Hopefully you're not related to the New York Mets pitcher that they signed this offseason, who I've heard mixed things about. He says, love your content, brother. Send this to your friend that needs assistance. Oh, thank you, Devin. I appreciate it. I actually did already donate to Gene. For those who didn't see on Twitter, Gene Park, incredible journalist at the Washington Post, but also dear friend of mine. And he is one of the hosts at Last Stand Media. He's undergoing cancer surgery for his stage 4 colon cancer. So if you'd like to support him, on my Twitter is a link to his GoFundMe. If you got, and again, I get it. Money's tight. So it's one of those things where I'm like, don't feel pressured. I know Gene wouldn't want you to feel pressured, but if you've got that extra funds, like kick it his way. I already kicked him some money. So I appreciate the support, Devin. Thank you. High Voltage with a super chat. Not everything needs or works in an open world. Ubisoft trying to chase a trend people have been sick of for years. And yeah, that's the other point. Like they're chasing open world adventure because they're known for that. And I'm like, have you considered redefining yourself? Like going back to things like this where it was like limited, confined, but maybe turning them into hubs that are explorable and interesting. I don't know. Yeah, like here's a game I want to remind you guys this game exists. All right, you ready for this one? What is it called? Here we go. This is gonna make you all sick to your stomach. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm just gonna skip around.
I'm looking at satellite coverage of the airstrip. It looks like Makaba's shipments arrived and are already offloading.
Do you remember this game? Like, this game was so good. And like the joint takedowns that you could do.
Here. Dead ahead.
Like you could hear the comms. Actual stealth gameplay.
Visual on 2 more.
This is like the SOCOM successor I never got. And it's so good.
Dropped.
Plane starting to roll.
And like, look how cinematic it gets, right?
Bring it down. Focus fire on the engine.
Does he get away? I don't remember.
Damn it. Lost him.
It does.
Oh, no,
Okay.
she's got trouble. She's going down.
And like, see how dynamic it gets? Like now the storm is starting to pick
Get a
up.
splash behind the camp.
Let's skip ahead.
We better get there first.
Now it's like a completely different level. Like the storm is picked up. And then let's go ahead a little bit more here. Look how they did the UI. This is the big thing for me. See how it just says Oil Harbor in the distance? And it just, like the camera move. Like, dude, this is what Ubisoft used to do. This is why we give a shit. Like, this game is amazing. For those who are wondering, this is Ghost Recon Future Soldier. It's so good. You'll see a couple of Ubisoft elements here, like tagging enemies, but it just has such great stealth gameplay. And again, if you're someone who likes SOCOM, like I did growing up, this is one that I think should definitely be in your backlog. Watch full reviews of it. It's one that I want to play at some point. And no doubt after today's news, I kind of want to do a rise and fall of Ubisoft sort of video essay thing. I don't know if I'll be able to do it this week. We'll see, because we're ahead a little bit on the upload schedule, but I had to find time to script it. But this is like one of those videos that are games I would spotlight in that video essay for a while because it's just so good. Spec Ops The Line is a good call out as well, Picto. Very similar to Spec Ops The Line. If you like that game as well, it kind of falls into that camp. Let's see here with the super chats. Beta combos. Man, I just dropped a video about Sands of Time and hope of the remake too. I'm defeated. Let my loss replace you. I appreciate it, man. I feel your pain. I literally have up on Retro Rebound here a whole video that's just unlisted, waiting for the remaster or remake, sorry, to be announced. And I was like, okay, we'll just hold fire until it's good to go. We made it before the holiday break. Perfect. Nope. It's such a shame. So I'm sorry, man. I feel your pain. Easel Games, good to see you, man. Hey, Matt, I just want to say I'm forever back to your vision. Cheers. And here's to the Witcher 3 playthrough. Don't skip Hearts of Stone. I won't. I appreciate you for that. You held me accountable on Duke. I won't. I'm actually just finishing Last Wish today. I have like 30 pages left in the book. And I'm trying to I have a whole reading schedule planned out, and I'm reading all the Witcher books before I replay Witcher 3 and all its DLC. It's going to be sick. I'm going to start that April 1st. That's my due date. I'm waiting for my copy of Sword of Destiny to come in the mail. But these Witcher books are it, bro. They're the truth. Okay, I got a couple more super chats here to catch up with. Thank you again for supporting. What do we got here? A Maddie live stream in this economy, says Junior Morpheus. Missed the beginning. Did they finally call off Beyond Good and Evil 2? They did not. They did not call it off, but glad to have you here for the streams. And Easel Games with another super chat. Sorry for the sorted out on Summon Time regarding Witcher 3. Not trying to push content on you, just a story lover. I want to push great content. Don't apologize at all. I love a good sorted out. So thank you. Don't feel bad though. Sotnist has another super chat, $2. Thank you. Give Rayman and UB Art Engine back to Michael Ansel. Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? High Voltage, you're right. Andor is also top tier Star Wars that I need to see. I'm kind of behind. Not even kind of. I'm really behind on Star Wars. Last thing I watched was Book of Boba Fett. Like, it's been that long, dude. It's been that long. So, yeah, such a shame. But I mean, I'm like, my favorite game of all time is a Star Wars game. Like, I love Star Wars, but that's how disenfranchised I am. I think I need to reconnect with that, you know. Easel with another super chat. Thank you, brother. Need your thoughts on Falcons and the new head coach. I'm about it. I think people are against Stefanski for the wrong reasons. Like, this guy had an awful rotating roster in the Browns for a while. I think he can find a way to win with our offense. I think anyone should be able to find a way to win with our offense. And we have a great defensive coach. Our defense was solid last year. Like, I don't know. I feel the Falcons should be in the mix. They should have been in the mix this past season, especially watching all this playoff football. I'm like, dude, I would love to see them in this postseason environment where it's like so hype. All these games have been great. Outside of the blowout for the 49ers, that was a terrible game. I feel bad for Cog. It's going to be so funny to talk about that on Duke with him. But, yeah, when it comes to Falcons and the new head coach, like, I feel we should be in the mix this coming season. That division's been up for grabs for a while. George Campbell, thank you for your super chat. Looks like Ubisoft is done and dusted. It's a shame. They were one of my favorites. Same. Yeah. I never want to call it until it's over, but yeah, I agree that they were one of my favorites, and it's a real shame to see. Christopher AO2 writes, do you think this will affect the Watch Dogs movie? I forgot that shit existed. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like these companies are betting big on movies because they can give a resurgence to your old stuff. Like we saw with the Witcher Netflix show when it was like the new thing on the block, or Cyberpunk, Fallout TV show. I think there's too much gain for old stuff, pardon me, that could lead into new stuff. So I think that they'll hold on to any movie they can, because there's like this whole world of benefit. And if you look at something like Borderlands, a movie as disastrous as that one did not impact Borderlands 4 as much as I thought it would have. So it seems like those audiences may be separate enough where it doesn't fully hurt the gaming IP to some extreme. I don't know. Or is Borderlands just that guy? Yodeling Llamas asks, have you played Overlord 2? I love it for its evil choices. Yeah, I love Overlord. Overlord is kind of the closest you get to Fable. I've heard a lot of people suggest it in lieu of Fable. Like, oh, if you like Fable, you'll like this. That's an awesome game. Underrated series. Who would you want the QB to be for the Falcons? Easel Games asks. Penix. I'm a Penix believer. He just needs to stay healthy. All right. I appreciate everyone super chatting, supporting, being here. We're 1,000 plus right now. This is way more than I expected. So thank you for being here. Let's transition to the second topic here. It was good talking Ubisoft with you guys. I appreciate the conversation. Not that it's over. You can feel free to write in about it as we go along here, but we got more news here. I wanted to talk Fable with everyone. So Fable had its concept art leak ahead of this developer direct that we're going to be seeing tomorrow. And I thought what was within this was actually really interesting because, sorry, I'm Xing out a million different browsers, why does it work like this? Opera GX, what is going on, my brother? I don't know what's going on here. I've Xed out like 40 different tabs. This is crazy. Okay, there we go. Weird. Okay, so Fable had its concept art leak, and it showcases a bunch of locations. Now, what you'll see with the art will probably at first be meaningless to you, and I think that's fair. But the reason why it's important is because what it may indicate for choice and consequence. So I thought it'd be fun to go over here because it didn't justify its own video, but it also was like breaking news where I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like this kind of builds up a little hope of where they may be going with the series here. So this comes from MP First, and they say the Fable reboot, new pieces of concept art showcase locations. Okay, kind of a broken title there, but you get the idea. So this again is like the staple for MP First. Like they scraped this probably from some artists like LinkedIn profile or their ArtStation. They say these images originate from the portfolio of an artist who previously worked on the title. In them, we can see a wide variety of artistic explorations covering important locations and key game elements. In the first batch of images, we see iterations of the same concept. The protagonist looking out over the horizon at a massive city. Most importantly, a sign in one of these iterations suggests the location is named Bloodstone. Avid fans of the series will remember this is the name of the port town in Fable 2 known for harboring criminals. So it looks like we are bound to see a new iteration of that in this reboot here. And so, yeah, let's take a look at some of these. We'll zoom in a little bit just so that we can cut out that ad. And you'll see here that, I did not plan this out. Hang on. We might not be able to zoom in because I can't hit the next arrow. Okay, no problem. Oh, can we full screen? We can. Beautiful. Don't need my magnifier. Okay, so let's start off here at the top. So, yeah, just a lot of overlooking the open world here. I like the difference in biomes, times of day. That sort of feel there. Very fairy tale like. You can see here again. This is where we actually can zoom in. Let's zoom in big time here. Look right. You see it right there. Oh god. Hold on. Right there. Bloodstone. So yeah, that's it on the signpost there. Which we'll look at that in a second in Fable 2. But a lot of good overlooks here. We'll see crawling into what looks to be a sewer. We see the inside of that sewer/dungeon area. Mantling, so hopefully some sort of traversal will be in this game. Every angle you can imagine as she hops down deeper into these caverns here where there are cages. Sewer might not be the right term here. This looks like a FromSoft-ass sort of dungeon. What did they call those in Bloodborne? The oh my god, I hated it. The procedural dungeons. Anyway, we'll see here that they have the werewolf here, which we actually, in the 1 minute of gameplay that Xbox gave us when they delayed this game out of 2025, we saw the protagonist fighting this enemy here. But those are the main bits of concept art here. And so what's interesting is actually, to me at least, these shots right here. Okay, pay close attention. What they call in this article, this location here, is Hamlet, right? And what you'll notice as we go along here, pay attention to this image right here, right? Happy, cheery, go lucky. Interesting, murky, swamp-like. Right? You see this in another location. Again, not the most pretty locale, but things look pretty, there's some upkeep here. Building's intact. Little different on what's going on around here, right? So this is the main thing that got me a little bit excited, is that they were thinking about locations in Fable in a good light and in a bad light. That's important because obviously, as we know, one of the main things that Fable does so well is visually representing good and evil. And what we usually see it in is our character, right? When you look up any Fable evil characters here, hang on, let's have some fun here. Let's just type in Fable evil character. Let's see if it actually gives us what I'm looking for here. Yeah, the alignments. You see how your character transforms here a bit, right? Let's see if we can get a bigger image of that. Of course it's going to be buried somewhere in here, isn't it? Oh my god. Continue to the site. Leave me alone. You see here the transformation for your character between good and evil. Full-size image will give us a little bit more here. That's what you're kind of looking at for Fable, is like how you progressively get more evil. The horns growing out of your head is iconic. Like, that's what it's about. So when we start to see things like this, where we're going between good and evil for locations, to me, that's a really good sign. It's a good sign that they're thinking about it, at least at some point when concept of the game, like at its very beginning, right? That's when concept art's on. Like the very beginning, we're coming up with the ideas. What's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? They were thinking about how the world changes between good and evil. Is it possible this is based off like a side quest and a decision you make? Sure. In Fable 2, you could run a raid on an entire town and kill like 50 people. You could do some really evil shit in this series. So this may not be like what some people are thinking, like, oh, this is your settlement, and as you make certain decisions, it like draws a certain crowd and it changes what the environment's like. Though I would personally love that. But as they mentioned in the article here, they said, according to file names, this location is called Hamlet, which appears to host the protagonist's home. Interestingly, 2 versions of the setting are visible: standard version and described as the aftermath of a flood. The flood has the potential to be a key plot element, perhaps even linked to the female antagonist seen at the end of one of the trailers. So that's the also possibility here, is that it could just be story related. Like, I look at this and go, yes, awesome, evil stuff. I did evil stuff and the world's responding to it. It could also just be your default good person, and this just happens to you, which would suck. There's no other way to put it. It would just be ass. They say, going back to Bloodstone, you'll notice a few illustrations depicting the entrance of a castle nestled between the mountains, which seemingly is the entry point to this location. There are also layouts revealing the structure of Bloodstone, depicting different zones such as a market district, an arena, an artisan area, a pub area, and a path that could be leading towards a character named Jacobs. Other uncolored images show off aforementioned market districts where we can spot a few storefronts such as a fishmonger and a shop named the Phoenix Feather here. So now we're really getting, like, we're looking at what I think this is like a block out. This reads to me like a blockout. Not even like Yep. This is like straight up white blocking the game so that it's playable, and then you pretty up later. You make sure you can play it all through from start to finish. And then this, I remember this. This was like 2018, 2019. So this has been kicking around for a while. So that's the other thing that you want to kind of take with a grain of salt with some of this concept art here is this one in particular. Oh, wait, no, I clicked on the wrong one. This one in particular here has been around for a while. I recognize it. And if that's the case, it's possible that ideas like here, which we were talking about, might also be, what's it called? They might also just be like canned, at the end of the day. So keep that in mind. And then what else did I want to show here? There were a couple other notes on Fable that had leaked that I thought would be good preparation here. Because while we have this idea of like what good and evil will be, the question is like, what's the game going to be rated? Because if the game is rated like M for mature, maybe they're going to push it further. Found here on the Fable Reddit, they said Fable will be Peggy 16 on the Xbox website here, and they post this here. And so this would fall in line with all the other Fable games. They're all Peggy 16, T for teen, that sort of thing. So I wouldn't expect them to push it in this super dark direction, which I think is fine. I think part of the beauty of Fable, like if we're talking evil, dark things you can do, is some of the things that are inferred. Like there's a character I remember at the end of Fable 1 in Lost Chapters that you can just stab on the ground, and when you like stab him, you see your character shoving the sword into him on the ground, but you don't actually see it happening, and you just hear him like yell. I don't know. That sort of stuff I think is a cheeky way of showing like you're killing someone, but we don't need to see blood and guts all over the floor. Fable's very fairy tale like, so I think Peggy 16 is fine. A lot of people have taken this as like it's dumbing it down. I'm not getting out and defending this game right away by any means. I just think that's leaping ahead because, again, like, hold on, right next to me. Here we are. Here we are. Wait, am I bugging? Whoa! M for mature. Hold up now. Hold on, wait. But did I get it wrong then? I want to see if I got something wrong here. Was Peggy 16 M for mature? Peggy 16 M for mature. Is it the equivalent? 16 and up. M for mature. Oh, it is similar. Oh, I'm sorry. I crossed it up with T for teen. Apologies. We're doing it live. Okay. So with that said, M for mature. Then what am I thinking of right now? Hold on. Fable 2 and 3. M for mature. Dude, I'm bugging. What the fuck? Oh my God. Okay, there you go. M for mature. It's right where it needs to be. But yeah, the reason I bring up the dumbing down is because right here in the comments, I'm not quite sure where the taming down argument is coming from. At least in Europe, Fable's always been a Peggy 16 game. So I took that conversation. I was like, okay, I thought that this was like a lower rate. This serves me right for not using the United States rating. The ESRB rating, I should say. Anyway, all these prior games were of the same rating. So this should fit in nicely is my point. And then the other thing that I promise you is not incorrect initially is this right here. So SteamDB, people were looking at Fable on SteamDB and people were getting excited because they saw right here, whoa, sexual content. For those who have not played Fable, you can sleep with anyone. Fable 2 and on. You can buy condoms even. It's pretty crazy, man. So when people are worried about dumbing things down and then you see here sexual content, the first thought is, oh, are they going to let us do it? Literally? So what you've got here, though, unfortunately, is a user tag. So that means it's by a player, like we're submitting it, and that defines the product on the store. It does not mean that this is something that Playground Games themselves have submitted. So don't run away with that information, which I've seen circulating a bit on the Fable Reddit and a couple of tweets and whatnot when I was looking into it. So yeah, what you've got here at the end of the road is a Fable leak and its concept art that's depicting Bloodstone as well as the Hamlet, which seems to be transforming due to story reasons. hopefully choice and consequence and reflective of our character's morality. I think that would be really awesome. You've got an inaccurate Steam B user tag, and then you got me almost screwing up horribly, Fable being M for mature. So, yeah, some interesting leaks here. Kind of puts into frame what we can see tomorrow. The thing I'm worried most about with Fable is just the way I wish they didn't go with a hyper realistic direction. I wish they went for something more stylized. I just think that was a mistake. Like, part of Fable's charm is that very whimsical sort of art style. And so, yeah, just a little bit bummed about that. I want to also go on a little bit of a tour here to Bloodstone in Fable 2 and just remind us of what we're looking at here. Let's screw it, man. Let's click this random Let's Play here. And I'm going to mute this for now. Wow. I love old YouTube 11 years ago and just like this type of quality. I know it's not ideal, but like this was originally like the bee's knees, like 720p was like the thing to shoot for. Yeah, what a great game. I am so excited. I shouldn't say excited. I want to be so excited for the next Fable game. But yeah, this Fable 2 is incredible, man. I remember playing this before I got my appendix taken out. I think we're getting to it now. I haven't played Fable 2 in 4 years now. I have a 2022 review on my channel. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this is an idea of like what we can expect them to be recreating. Look at the heart over her head because he's doing some good deeds. Good times, man. I love how the camera works too. Bloodstone Mansion. Yeah, so I guess they're going to hopefully make this all bigger. But to me, like tight quality exploration is more important. Like I don't care if it's a big city, basically. Hero of skill. Oh, yeah. Man. If the game is great, I'm going to start a replay of this series. Let's get another look at the town here. So yeah, this is what they're going to be recreating, it seems, which indicates that we might... I wonder if they're just going to bring all the Fable stuff together, like Fable 1, 2, and 3, bring all those maps together. Because Fable 1, I love, but Fable 1 is very disjointed. Fable 3, famously, super disjointed. Yeah, like look at how these quests work and the map works. Like some modern enhancements, if you will, on sort of like the traversal front would go a long way. Like this is insane. Like you'd set the trail and travel, and then I think, yeah, right here, I'm waiting for him to select spot to go. And then yeah, it's 42 hours, fade to black. And it's like a whole different location. So that's where we're headed. I imagine we'll see that tomorrow to some extent. Maybe just tucked in there for fans who are going to do a deep dive. I hope it's great. We'll be live tomorrow to react to it, though. All right. That one was a little sloppier, I think. But I'm curious what chat thinks. That was a little sloppier compared to, what's it called? To our Ubisoft recording. That Peggy 16 one. Bad, Maddie, bad. So, yeah. Excited to get some thoughts. Dave Calzone, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. So the Peggy rating is equal to M? Yeah, that's my understanding from what I just quickly searched up when I made my mistake. I thought 16 and 16, like T for teen, I could be wrong, but I thought T for teen was like 16 and up. Like I thought that's what it was for, but it might be a different age now that I think about it. Thoughts on the snowstorm hitting Northeast this week? Dude, I've been shoveling my brains. I just went to the chiropractor yesterday because like I think I pinched something in my neck from all the shoveling I've been doing. So business as usual, I guess. What time is the show tomorrow? CST. I'll give you EST because I think Central's time is an hour before or 2. I should know this. I work with enough people in Texas. Anyway, I'm going to be live 11 a.m. Eastern time. We'll go live the hour before the show, maybe even a little bit earlier. I'll schedule the stream though, so you can look out for that. But we'll go live tomorrow. We'll chat for like an hour or so, prepare ourselves for the show, watch it together, unpack our thoughts, go from there. Okay, what do we got here with super chats? Appreciate the support, Yodeling Llama, Werewolf, nah, Balvery. hey, just bear with me here, right? I'm going in real time. These are the lore checks I do in the script afterwards. But okay, fair. Yodeling Llama, thank you for your super chat. Maddie, you prefer the voice change of Jack of Blades in Lost Chapters? Do you prefer the original? I'm in the OG camp. I think I prefer OG as well. Feels more fitting in my brain. It's the one I think of when I like hear, like when I'm away from the game. It's the one I think of is how I should describe it. Good question though. Good question. And man, I fucking love Lost Chapters though. Lost Chapters. The game feels incomplete without Lost Chapters. Not because I shouldn't say that. Fable 1 is a very complete game, but with Lost Chapters, it's like every knot is tied up perfectly. Thank you, Chad. Yeah, Peak wrote T is 13 and up. Emo wrote 13 plus. Yeah, okay. So yeah, 13 plus for T for teen. So I just crossed my wires entirely. Did I see the new Fallout episode today, Cambion? No, I did not. I have not seen the new Fallout episode yet. That's probably tonight once I'm done working for the day. Peg 18 is for explicit. Okay. See, I'm showing my American side now, not knowing what's going on beyond our own walls. All right. We got another super chat here from High Voltage. Thank you again, man. On Defining Duke, you said you wanted a Persona with adult main cast. Once again, Persona 2 Eternal Punishment is forgotten. Okay, look, I'm the new age Persona fan. I started with 4, went back to 3, played 5. I'm that Persona fan. I have not played 1 and 2. I messed around with 1 on here's a throwback, the PlayStation Classic. Remember that? I played that for a little bit. But then I learned the PSP version was the version I thought I was getting there, and so I was wrong. So I didn't end up finishing it or playing much of it at all. And then because I didn't finish Persona 1, I was like, well, I'm not going to go to Persona 2. I've also just heard mixed things about those really old Persona games, and it seems like Atlas is going to remake them, so I've sort of held off on that. Persona in a community college would be great. Yeah, I just think like, more adult-like. It seems a lot of people really vibed with the, what's it called? With the kind of themes and the characters of Metaphor, because there was more mature characters there. But I think Persona's characters are undersold in light of that. Like, they're very mature, but it is also very like anime, very teenager friendly. And so I think they could do something to appeal to both audiences. Josh M, do you think you might stream some games on here at some point or just focus on news for the time being? I'm going to take it a step at a time. I think there's certain games that I want to stream. Like, okay, for example, one of the reasons that led me here to streaming more, I talked about this a bit, is the mistakes I made last year with how I handled some of my coverage. I think of Oblivion Remaster. I should have been live for that. Like, going live, playing that shit with the audience, that would have been awesome. I should have had a review video out the day of, or at least within 24 hours. I didn't do that either. I took 3 days to play it by myself and then put out a video that did well, but like, it could have done more. So there are certain games that I do want to play alongside the audience. I also don't, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I'm entertaining to watch when I play games because I lock in. So like my reviewer mindset takes over every time. Like I'm just thinking. So yeah, like I'm thinking what games I would play in the foreseeable future, because I like people count on me for reviews, and I don't think it's like me sitting on Discord and talking with my friends while I'm playing a game I'm reviewing. Like it just doesn't work. Like I can't do that because I need to focus and give the game the attention, the respect, and the note taking that it deserves every time, even though I don't like it much. So I like to put myself in a silo when I play games, and since a lot of the games I talk about I end up reviewing, I don't know if I would play a lot of them live. We'll see though. I'm going to keep my mind open to it. Like I don't want to wall off that possibility. I just think right now I like the idea of news streams because it's something I like to do. It's something I can do very easily and talk with the audience. It's something we can do consistently as well. And it just requires a little bit of prep on my end. So never say never. It can definitely happen. It will happen, I should say, but I don't know when, and I don't know how consistent it'll be. But yeah, game launches are definitely what come to mind for me. I don't know if you're going to see me randomly firing up a game on my backlog here. So bad games are fun to watch. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. What's up, 2R? Good to see you, man. Radberry, super chat. Thank you. What's up, Maddie? You plan on being in the Spawncast this weekend and discuss what happens at the developer direct? I don't know if I'm going to be on Spawncast. I haven't been invited, but I am talking to John about doing a collab soon. He messaged me and we're chatting about getting together and recording something. So, that'll be on his channel. You can look forward to that. I'm really excited. I love John. I love his channel. He's an awesome guy. And he also was one of the first people to help out with Retro Rebound, which I really respect. When I first launched that channel, he was our first collab there. So I really love that he did that for us. That was cool. So yeah, we'll collab soon for sure. And I'd love to have him on our channel too. You know, just, I'm trying to find ways to collab more. I'm talking to Actman about doing something soon. And so I'm trying to explore video topics that I can do with other creators. I think that would be really fun. So thank you for asking about that. Yeah, I look forward to that. Randomize it. The great super chat here. Does Xbox as a company need a full reboot, bro? I was talking about it with Locke today because let me show you this headline here. I'm going to be real with y'all. Okay. This headline pissed me off something fierce. Okay. Where is it here? Here we go. Halo Studios admits that the series needs a bigger player base as PS5 community awaits. What? Okay. I don't even have to read anything. This is not me hating on Pure Xbox, by the way. Great site. I use this website every week for Defining Duke when I make the script. What? Every fucking time we talk about Halo and how popular it was, it's always referencing back to when it was on a single console. We weren't even at the point that we were talking about it's on PC and it's on console. We're talking about Halo when it was on the 360 almost 2 decades ago now. That's when it was at its biggest. Listen to what Halo Studios had to say. In a new interview with Games Radar, Halo Studios' Damon Khan talked about the expanding community on PS5 and how the team wants to bring players back together. I'm not against, by the way, everyone playing and having fun. I'm not. Back together? Hey, what? I'm sorry, I'm crashing out a little bit because that's just not... it's such cope speak is how I define it, right? It's such like... Satya said this, Amy Hood said that, Phil said this, that's the marching orders. We're going to try to fit these square blocks into circle holes and make this talk work for a game that it makes no absolute sense for. Okay, read this quote here with me. We hope to bring along the series veterans who have been with us for the past 25 years and have them play with an entirely new generation. There are people who have never been exposed to Halo. Maybe they've always been on Sony products, switch consoles at a certain point, or just missed it at the time. We want to bring players back together. Halo is best played when we have a large, healthy community. Again, this right here. You had that. You had that. You did. Fucking A, dude. You fucking did. You had a large, healthy community that you're asking for here. Yeah, look at this. Hold on. We're crashing out. Real time. If you're wondering what happens off camera when I'm getting ready to do videos where I'm just like, what the fuck? Like when I freaked out over the WB stuff. Like, hold on. Halo Infinite launch numbers. What was the launch player count here? Yeah, here we go. Halo Infinite had a player count of over 30 million as early as 2023. And we need a large, healthy community. I can't, dude. The way they handle this IP, it does get under my skin. I make it no secret. I can't stand it. I'm just like, the way they talk about it, I'm like, oh my God, free us from this, please. They say, we see this as a new way to grow, expand, and reconnect the Halo community. We want to honor the Halo legacy on PlayStation. That doesn't exist. There is no Halo legacy on PlayStation. That did not happen. That's never been a thing. There's never been Halo legacy on PlayStation. Come on. What are we doing? And we're paving the way to expand our Halo universe. Okay, at least that makes sense. That's how we see it. Oh, wait, I'm crashing out for no reason. I misread this. We want to honor the Halo legacy as in referring to Xbox Halo. while it's on PlayStation. Okay, I'm sorry. I was incorrect about that. Still, what is this? And it's not a small thing, and we don't want to take it lightly. We definitely feel the weight of it. Good. Man, I just read that type of headline, though, and it's like, we need a bigger player base. I'm like, you had 30 million players at your last Halo game that was handled terribly. I don't know if you actually need more players. I think you have plenty. But this is just where Xbox's whole transformation comes into play, right? We're talking about a company that has tried to say exclusive games are antiquated. Meanwhile, when you look at the trend of their hardware and how its hardware sales have plummeted, it happened at the same time that they said they're no longer doing exclusives. It's almost like exclusive content drives everything. Unfortunately, I'm not saying I want it that way, but that's the case, man. I talked about this on Defining Duke. Look at like sports, right? I'm a subscriber to SNY because I'm a Mets fan. I buy their baseball package to watch Mets baseball every season. But then there are games, even though I've purchased the SNY pack, that I cannot see for Mets baseball because Fox TV buys out Mets games. NBC does. Apple TV does. Prime now buys out baseball games. So if I'm not subscribed to their services, I miss out on these baseball games because these companies get together and they look at these upcoming games and they think to themselves, okay, what game with the Mets is going to be one that's going to drive a lot of viewership? Mets versus Dodgers in August. It's a little bit of a hint at playoff baseball. Both teams should be in it. Let's bet big on this. Let's pay for that game. And so they buy that game. And so when that highly coveted game comes around, people are like, okay, I'll subscribe to Prime for $10 because I want to see that Mets game or I want to see that Dodgers game, whatever side of the fence you're on. Or you're a baseball fan. You just want to see it. So that happens in the sports world. It sure as shit happens in the game world. And I'm not saying that it has to be like what sports does, but I look at how streaming services have worked, cable services have worked. Sony has been selling off their stuff that they've built for the billions to like services out there. Like exclusive content drives money, drives attention. People are talking about Pluribus right now. Like this stuff matters. And Xbox trying to transform the conversation because they failed. Pardon me, I almost burped up my food because they failed. Bothers me to no end because now they're, again, I think of it, square block, circle, and you're fucking trying to jam it in there. It doesn't fit. So I think where Xbox is headed will eventually be where the industry is going, just because now that one of the major competitors has fallen, does PlayStation see it as much of a threat to go to PC because they've beat Xbox? Nintendo will always exist in their own silo. Steam is going to exist in their own silo, it seems like, based on what we're seeing with the Steam machine anticipated pricing. So yeah, like maybe exclusive content doesn't hold as much value nowadays in gaming in the terms of how these companies look at it. Like they see value in the zeitgeist and being everywhere because that's how gaming works. But when I see shit like this, like they need a bigger player base, I'm like, dude, when this was an exclusive game to Steam and to Xbox, you had 30 million players. I think that's a the company's dream of like fucking half of that, a fifth of that. Like, come on. So yeah, man. That old Halo, it gets me going. So yeah, Randomized, thank you for your super chat. You definitely got your money's worth on that one. All right. Fluxified, RCE, when do you think Starfield DLC will arrive realistically? Chance of a surprise DLC reveal for fall and PS5 Shadow drop tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to talk carefully about this because I am one of the people who have seen what's coming up for Starfield. Like, I'm allowed to say that I have seen what's coming up. I don't know when it's coming. I don't know Bethesda's plans. I don't know if it's shadow dropping tomorrow. I don't know if they're revealing it. I don't know when it is. I just know it exists and I've seen it. My eyes are my proof. I don't know when they're going to do it. I imagine it to be soon. I imagine they want to do it with a PS5 drop. That was at least the rumor that I think I saw Nate the Hate cover, I want to say. But yeah, I don't want to say more than that because I've seen it, so I don't want to do anything incorrectly. But I don't know when it'll arrive, sincerely. I have no idea what Bethesda's kind of planning for that. So you guys got to put on your tinfoil hats because I feel like any speculation I would see is based off what I've seen. And so at that point, not really fair to Bethesda, who did give me the opportunity to see it behind closed doors with a bunch of other creators. Blink twice if yes. All right. We got another super chat here from Human Hope 101. Great to see you live. How do you feel about Ubisoft's recent announcement regarding the cancellation of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake? Thank you for your super chat. Yeah, so at the front of the stream, we actually talked about this news. But I'm very saddened. Like, I especially because the game was supposed to be coming out soon, man. Felt like, what are we doing here? So yeah, if you want to watch the full spiel, we have that at the front of the stream. You could watch me break it down in real time. But yeah, man, it's just definitely one of those, like, what happened to the one I love type moments here. Is my stream chat, like, I feel like it could be moved over a little bit here. Hang on. I'm going to push it over a little bit here. Maybe that might be good. There we go. Patty's got an unlisted video set to go live tomorrow, confirmed. I have stayed away from Starfield content. It's just like, number one, again, it's kind of like when you've already seen the update coming up. There's nothing I would have probably made, if I didn't see that update, I would have made a video speculating what's going on, talking about where's Bethesda, what's happening, no doubt. But otherwise, like, I'm kind of out on Starfield until that update, because I think there'll be a lot more to talk about then. Right. What do you think about 1384 Vox skipping Xbox? I did see that. People are going to like this because there is a 30+ million user base over on Xbox. I think it's not wise for developers to flat out ignore Xbox, like never bring their games to Xbox. But I also get why, when the active player base and the spending player base and the growing player base is on PlayStation, Switch, and predominantly PC, that ports cost money. They're not easy to make. Like, people think it's drag drop file, but they cost money. They're not easy to make. I get why developers don't prioritize Xbox first until Xbox achieves the reason Xbox, I think, is going to this whole Windows PC as a console approach is because no one wants to make Xbox SKUs. They cost money, and you probably don't make that money back, and you just suffer a PR black eye if you don't make games for the Xbox, at least based on what I see on Twitter, even if I think the rationale is there, right? So from my point of view, when it comes to a game like that skips out, I don't blame them, because you're not going to get major gains there. But if Xbox decides, hey, we're going to bring this kind of development SKU that's going to basically say, if you made a PC version, you made an Xbox version. If that ends up being the case, then that's going to be very much an easy way for developers to support Xbox, because that's kind of how it works a little bit now, right? You make a PC SKU, and if you have like a well-optimized game and you have these like low-tier settings, it's like, oh, you kind of have maybe your Steam Deck. That's not really a great way of describing it. Like, if you've made something for the Series S, then you've optimized for your Steam Deck. And if you optimize for your Steam Deck, then you're probably good to go on the Xbox Ally as well. So it kind of branches out a little bit. So I think it's not wise to flat out ignore Xbox, because there are benefits to supporting them beyond the money. It's like the way different SKUs can be created by supporting Xbox. And I think they're going to make that easier in the future. But right now, if like you're releasing a game right now, I don't blame developers for saying like, hey, do we want to increase our budget by X amount to make this Xbox port? We don't know what's going on with the platform, and we're small. When it's a big publisher, like if a Ubisoft, a Bethesda, Bethesda's a horrible example. A Ubisoft, the 2K, where you've got the money and your goal is just to literally be everywhere. I think you got to do it. But if you're like these smaller companies, I don't like that the Xbox community goes after indie devs who literally have very minimal funds and cannot support themselves much further beyond what they're already doing. Like, them doing PC and consoles is already tough. So they have to pick and choose. And if you're picking and choosing, sometimes there are certain player bases that exist on consoles in a bigger way. Like, I think JRPGs are big on PlayStation and Switch. If you're making a JRPG, that's probably priority one. Xbox has not had Japanese support for a while and is only just getting it. So, yeah. Oh my God, it's Lock Plays. The man, the myth, the legend. I'm a lock sucker, dude. Let's go. Thank you, Lock, for your super chat. Good to see you, my brother. But yeah, shout out to the lock suckers in chat, man. It's very important that we all unite under the Lockmort. What else have we got here? Starfield's a very cold, lonely game. Brandon Cavallero says, yeah. And that could be part of the charm if there was like meaningful stuff to explore. Silver Lightning, good to see you. Thank you for becoming a member. Something I'm going to update, by the way, as we stream more is my membership stuff. Don't feel pressured to subscribe right now until I rethink that. But, yeah, I appreciate you guys subbing up either way. You're a lock what? I'm a lock sucker. That's the name of the Lockmort community. A lock sucker. Don't blame me. I didn't come up with it. Dylan, thanks for joining us. It came in late. Are these lives going to be more frequent? Yeah. My number in my head is 1 to 2 times a week. And depending on when news drops and kind of what the video upload schedule is, I don't know if I can do weekly schedules. Right now, my goal, because I like to always be a planner, my goal is to make sure, Maddie, you just go live. Like, make sure you just go live, right? That's my first goal. So I'm not going to over construct it on my end here. But I'm very happy to see that there's still over 1,000 of you just hanging out. Sincerely, I really didn't expect much at all. I thought it would fall off over time, but we've been just sitting at that same number for a while, and just like having you all here to talk gaming news has been fucking awesome. So I appreciate those of you who are here. Why did Opera say it ran out of memory? Dude, I got like a beast PC. What do you mean you ran out of memory? I appreciate those of you who are spending your time here with me today. Real Jack Arthur writes, Maddie, as a fellow indie dev working with a team, I'm excited to hear more about your team's game. Soon? Not quite. I wouldn't say soon. We're making good progress, though. We're in a good spot, I think. We're really like gaining momentum, and we talked this year about sustaining momentum through our creative process and sort of what that looks like. And so we're in a good spot. Right now, we're completing blockouts. The game's pretty playable-ish. And then the story outlines being reviewed by the whole team. We're doing a feedback round Friday to sort of go over things. And that will give the game a really firm direction in the terms of sort of the beat for beat gameplay. And then like we have really great tools. So quest creation and whatnot's going to kind of zip from there. So it's going to come together really fast is how we're talking about it. But we have a date in mind. We do have a date in mind. We know where we want to be, when we want to be there. And so not too far off is what I would say. But soon to me is like see you in a couple months. We're not there. But like not too far off. That's all I'll say, though. Shut up. No more questions, damn it. I get too fired up about it, so I don't want to talk about it too much because it's hard for me to just like not let loose. But I will just say I am very excited for you all to see it. I think it'll be very much up everyone's alley, and it'll also be it'll be our game, but it'll also be a very Matty-ass game. ODX, thank you for your super chat. Are we certain whether Fable will have a customizable protag or a set protag? We don't know that yet. Jez did say in 2024 on the Xbox 2 podcast that we will have male or female. I don't know if it'll be customizable, though. I imagine not. It's never been customizable. But also there's been a whole shitstorm online about the female main character. And I'm not one of those people who is like, oh God, and like freaks out about characters' looks in video games. Like I'm not. I don't fucking, peddle that type of bullshit. I think there's so much more important stuff to talk about in games, but she looked fucking rough in some of those gameplays, dude. Like I can't lie. Like not even the actress herself. Like in the later ones, she looks a lot more cleaned up and better. But in those early ones, I was like, whoa, golly. They really like got to clean that up a bit. So I get where people are coming from. I think I hope for how much time they've spent that this is the do everything game. It should have everything. It really should. But yeah, good question. I think it'll be set. That's my prediction. I think it'll be set, male or female. Interestingly, all of the concept art has been just the female character as well. So I don't know really what's going on there. Okay. Maddie on the Dev Direct is a small title. Imagine that. No, I'm not. But Ken Levine money laundering their games. Come on, bro. Don't put my man Ken out there like that. Come on. All right, who wants to talk some more gaming news, actually? This next one here, I think is really interesting. Let me clear out some of my tabs here. My brain needs to be organized in real time here. Okay. Oops, hang on. Got to get everything organized here. This Opera GX, great browser, but just give me some trouble here today. Okay. Friends, let's talk about... Wait, hold on. We got a great message here. Maddie, you're my inspiration. I hope to interview you one day. Thank you. Thank you. Wait till our game comes out. I want to do interviews at that point because I want to be very transparent about the process and how we made the game. Like, I have a lot of content videos in mind on showcasing what we did and how we did it, and sort of, I don't want to say making a documentary, but I want to be really transparent about how we did this, how the sauce was made, because I think that connection with your audience is more important than anything. And so many developers just don't recognize that. I'll answer the super chat real quick too, and then we'll start. Do you think we see OD from Kojima this year? Asked Media Hobbit. Yes, I do. He's talking about it a lot. We saw it at the Kojima showcase, the Kojima production showcase. So I do think we see it. Does it get a date? I think it's a window, 2027. I think it's, then again, we just got Death Stranding 2. But it feels like OD's been in development for so long. I'm going to say yes. I don't know if we get a release date. I'm going to pull back on that idea. Are we making dev diaries? Good question, Emo. I want to, but we also, what we want to make sure we do is not put ourselves in a hole. I watch a ton of indie devs online, and a lot of them are like, there's no end in sight. They're just making things. And I don't think that's a good process. Like, us making games for content is not the point. I also don't want my audience on the hook for like a year journey. My goal when you see the game is it's what you're getting. You're not getting it. I don't know if I can control some of these things, but like, I don't want you waiting long. I want to treat you guys as I would want to be treated. I want you to be excited. I don't want you to feel like you're on the hook for, hopefully it happens. I don't want to crowdfund, you know, that's like, to us, we've talked about how we're going to fund the game. It's coming from me right now, but at times it gets financially tight. And people have talked to me about, like, in the industry, like, why don't you try crowdfunding? You have an audience. I'm like, my audience isn't a money bag I'm going to shake and try to get funding for my game out of. Like, I want them to be there to support it when it's out. And I make it with them alongside our team, make it with you guys and gals in mind. So I don't want to put you guys on the hook for dev diaries until it's time. Like, the game is about, like, we have the release date, it's announced, and we're going to start showing off the game properly and get you informed on what it is and that sort of stuff. So just so you know how I'm thinking about it. I appreciate the interest. Seriously. I have not proven anything yet. So any interest is really appreciated. Let's talk some gaming news. Remember this one? Highguard. Holy shit. One video on the channel. And as described here, an all new PvP raid shooter from Wildlight Entertainment. Ride, fight, and take the raid in battle for control of the mythical continent. Launching for free January 26, 2026. Well, it is, as you see down here, January 21st, 5 days. So yeah, here's, for those who forgot, I wouldn't blame you, Highguard. And let's turn off those closed captions here. And this is the game that was announced at the end of the Game Awards. And it's very easy to forget. Let me turn on the volume.
Fight to the end.
Experience it in all the glory. Former Titanfall developers, former Apex Legends developers here. You can kind of see that in the gunplay. From Wildlight. And a lot of people have talked about these characters, this kind of hero shooter-like thing, but this was the show ender for the Game Awards. And obviously when you had a show with everything from Infinity to Fate of the Old Republic to Tomb Raider, and the list goes on, why you end it with any type of hero shooter rather than putting it in the middle of the show is beyond me. Now, with this in mind, right, there's been a lot of speculation as to what's going on with Highguard. That's because when this got revealed, it then disappeared. There's been nothing from the developers anywhere. Like, if I bring up their Twitter, sorry, I should have had this ready for y'all. If I bring up their Twitter account, you'll see here, nothing. What a night. We'd like to extend a big thank you to Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards. December 11th, last year. Nothing since then. Nothing at all. So they announced and they dipped, right? This caused a whole mess online because now we're starting to see developers, or I'm sorry, not developers, press start to cover. This is one of many articles from Forbes. It says Highguard is MIA since the Game Awards, despite its imminent release. We talked about this in a video already on how it's vanished, and it's supposed to be coming out. At this point, this was made January 6th, and then Paul Tassi made another article a week later saying, 2 weeks ago, still nothing, right? Now, when we saw this was the show ender here, a lot of people were displeased because why would, with all that great content, Keighley end the show with a hero shooter, right? I think that's fair to say. Even if you look at the game and you go, hey, let's not dunk on it yet till it's out, I think that's fine. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I just think ending the show with that type of content was strange given the impossible style announcements that the game already held. Now, IGN made this article here saying, can we stop dunking on Highguard before it's even out, please? And they write here, the online reaction to this trailer has not been kind. Type Highguard into YouTube and you'll almost be exclusively met with videos headlined with something along the lines of, this game is cooked. Hang on. Hang on. Who did that? Hold on. Who did that?
Salutations, everybody. It is.
Are you talking about me? Okay, I don't want to be annoying. Sorry. It's worse than we thought. What happened? And what happened is that the game hasn't even been released yet. And so I'm here to state that what I thought would be obvious. We should actually play the games before we definitively decide if they're good or bad. Fair take, I think. We'll get into it. I understand not being into the look of the game, but among the gaming community, it feels increasingly as if there's now not almost any let me try to reread that one more time. I understand not being into the look of the game, but among the gaming community, it increasingly feels as if there's now almost an underlying need for new releases to be bad if they're not exactly what we want from one. I can't help but feel this attitude is completely unhelpful in the long run, engineered with social media and rage bait content algorithms in mind rather than any kind of thoughtful analysis on what's on show. Such willingness to dunk on a game for which we only have a single trailer and 10 screenshots displays a complete misunderstanding of or intentional opposition to a rising tide lifts all boats mentality when it comes to game development. More successful games are ultimately good for everyone, even if the specific one doesn't meet your personal taste. Of course, it isn't just the gameplay fueling the fire, but the relative lack of noise from the developer Wildlight Entertainment following its reveal. So they say what I'm already about to talk about here, which is simply this, right? I think this point is actually fair here. Like, I do think a lot of people call their shot before, like, it's way too early. At the same time, man, and I'm not Mr. like pattern recognition out there. I think that's an easy fallback for outrage and trying to justify skepticism. Like, I do see a lot of people who try to act like, well, it's okay to be a skeptic no matter what. And I'm like, that carries into everything. Like, people are skeptical about how YouTube content's made even. Like, it's gotten to that point where, like, people are skeptical of everything. And they're like, well, we can't blame me. I'm just a skeptical guy. It's like, I think there is a little bit of like being disingenuous in that, not with this game. I'll talk about that in a second here, but I do understand the feeling of on the internet that some people are participants and not actual like players of games. We have a ton of fucking tourists because game has grown a ton. Money is in video games more than any other entertainment industry. It's only natural that you're going to get a bunch of people who lie about shit or pretend to be in on this because they want to make money and they don't want to actually put the effort in. So I get where IGN is coming from here. At the same time here, they literally answer their own question here, right? They're like, it feels completely unhelpful. Well, when a game has a single trailer and 10 screenshots and it's coming out soon, what do you think the reaction is going to be, man? Why would we ever feel confident about this? We've had games that have shown more than this, that look similar to this and have turned out that way. In this case, there is a pattern. We also have a new entry in an oversaturated genre. And look, it is a game in a unique situation. It's a show closer. Show closers are magical announcements. The one time we got one that wasn't magical that I can think of was when we got Need for Speed. And people freaked out on that game as well. And that game was awful. So there's also a trend in that. So it's not just people, I think, shitting on it. I don't look at Highguard and think this game looks bad. I look at it and say, I think it's cooked because it's unimaginative. It's a game that, like many other live service games, will come and go. Maybe. I could be wrong, but I don't see it making this impact suddenly because people want cool characters doing cool things, and I think Highguard doesn't hit that. I will play it for myself to find out, though, right? If that's true or not, because I think the difference between myself and my content is I don't have a fucking agenda. So I have no problem going back to this video here in a future upload if Highguard ends up being sick and we all like it and going, dude, I was dead fucking wrong. This game's actually great, and like foot and mouth. You can actually see I did this for Dead Space, I think. Let me see how I open this review. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, sitting down for my review of Dead Space Remake. A big thank you to EA for providing it's also the in the review title code here. a couple of days ahead of launch for me to play through the entire game. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't get to talk about it often, and when I do, it flops, but I love the Dead Space duology. It's some of my favorite in all of gaming. What third game? It doesn't exist.
True.
I don't know what
Still
you're
true.
talking
We
about.
don't know about Dead Space 3.
Behind role-playing games, survival horror is easily my favorite genre. I just don't get to talk about it a lot because it's quite frankly irrelevant to my content that I put out here. But there's nothing better than the intensity
Can we
of
get to the point,
None
Manny?
Do It Better following the gut Dead Space.
All right, here we go.
So imagine my sheer terror as I hear that EA, following the gutting of Visceral Games, is actually going to now remake the original Dead Space, my favorite survival horror game of all time, thanks to the success of Resident Evil 2 Remake, where I'm like, oh god, they're money motivated, they're taking one of my favorite games of all time, and they're gonna remake it with EA Motive. Now, EA Motive is behind the pretty solid Star Wars Squadrons, the campaign of Star Wars Battlefront, and we now know they're working on an Iron Man game. So to me, this was a prove it moment. How much could you keep this remake pure, improve it possibly in the right ways, and prove me wrong? Because at the end of the day, I was someone who said for a long, long while, why are we remaking this? I've replayed this game so many times, as recently as just last year, and I was thinking to myself, this doesn't need a remake. So was I wrong? I'll let you know right now. Yeah, they did a phenomenal job.
Bang. So yeah, this is something I don't mind doing. So I think that's the difference between me coming out and shitting on Highguard, and if it ends up being good, I'll happily follow up and be like, yep, dead wrong. Because I think it's okay to be skeptical and then admit you're wrong. The difference is a lot of people have agendas nowadays, and they don't admit they're wrong when they are wrong. And that's part of the problem. Now, with this in mind here, this is where the Highguard situation gets, I think, a little bit more interesting, right? Kotaku made this article. I know I got to use Kotaku, but they were the original source of this report. Some nominated devs can't even afford to be part of the Game Awards here. And they talk about how much money it is here. And let me just control F. Okay, here we go. Prices keep going up. According to two sources familiar with this year's show, a 60-second trailer during the 2025 ceremony can cost up to $450,000. A 3-minute trailer costs over $1 million. Oh my God. Two separate sources in the video game publishing world said that while they had not been briefed on this year's rates, these sounded in line with what they had expected from previous years. So, yeah, when you think about trailer slots being sold, it's fair to assume, oh, Highguard was money hatted to get its final trailer slot. It thought it was that dude. Jeff said, hey, $5 million, you get to end the show. Who wants it? Because they had, again, in the past, given that slot to Need for Speed. And there's no way in hell anyone looked at that Need for Speed game and went, that's the one. And in some ways, and I hate to be the skeptic I was just talking about a moment ago, but I am still looking at this information going, surely not. That information I'm talking about here is this newest development that happened a few days ago. Paul Tassi has been on top of this whole situation with Highguard, said, I've learned that Highguard did not actually pay for that Game Awards finale spot. It was just a show putting it there. So what we're seeing here is not that this show paid for the slot, but Jeff put it there. So Jeff sincerely believed in it. That's crazy. What? So this was given up to this game when you had Fate of the Old Republic and you had Divinity and you gave it to Highguard, right? Someone wrote, I heard that it was not the original plan. The original game got delayed and they didn't put it up. So Jeff asked them if they wanted the final slot and they said, yeah. So yeah, Jeff thought they were good enough to put it last, but still had left the decision up to them. To which Paul Tassi says that would make the most sense. So yeah, that's a little he said, she said on Twitter. Who the hell knows? But what we got here is that Highguard didn't pay for its final slot. And this was actually something that was, in fairness, we gotta go to the original source here. This was covered by 80 level. But anyway, we see here that Imran Khan was on Reset Era and said, fun note, they did not pay for that spot. Like, obviously you pay for a Game Award spot in general, but the choice of where to put it in the show in Keeley's, I'd argue, screwed them a little bit with that placement there. So they paid to be there. Some people are reading this news here and going, they didn't pay at all to be there. Like, Jeff just believed in it hardcore. They paid to be there. They didn't pay for the final slot. Jeff believed in it enough to put it in that final slot. And I think his vision had to have been like something you get soon, right? Because some of the announcements were these distant ones. Fate of the Republic is distant. According to Casey Hudson, we're going to get that before 2030. But it's still distant, right? So this is a ways off. Maybe he thought, okay, let's give them something they'll get to play soon. It's coming out next month. But man, what a complete sabotaging of this game. Like, you look at that shit and you see the like to dislike ratio, the conversation online. It's impossible to find. I don't need to even YouTube search it because no doubt it's ugly. There's no positive sentiment on this game, and it's coming out in 5 days. So I thought there's a small chance they might delay it, but I think they're just going to ride into launch and just see how it goes, because anything they say now will not change anything. They might have spent their whole marketing budget on that trailer slot and thought it would be high impact, high reward. It's gone the opposite way. So yeah, that's the news on Highguard. Curious what the chat has to say here. What do we got here? We got $20 super chat from Face21BKNY. Thank you. Appreciate that. I've never played Far Cry 3 or Primal. Both got 60 FPS patch for consoles. I'm interested in playing. Which game do you recommend? Okay, so I have hot takes on both these games then. Let's bring up Mr. Matty Plays, shall we? Hold on now. Far Cry Primal. There's my thoughts on Far Cry Primal. I find the game to be very mid. So I know a lot of people like Primal because it's very different from traditional Far Cry. If you've never played Far Cry before, I wouldn't start with Primal. If you've never played Far Cry before and you want to know what basically created the template for every Ubisoft game coming up, play Far Cry 3. It really is that. It's just very familiar. And when I played it, I found it to be... I was not wowed like everyone else. I thought Voss was a really overrated villain who is not in the game nearly enough. So, I don't know. Far Cry 3 has way more cultural and industry-wide impact, where I would suggest playing that one, personally. Bobby Burns, his super chat. Thank you. Not really an Xbox fan, but found Defying Duke recently. Instantly became a fan. The structure, chemistry, and knowledge y'all bring is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I love doing the show every week with COG. I'm excited to record that tomorrow. Corey, thank you for I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm getting hungry, so my brain's stopping functioning. Thank you for your $5 super chat, though. And Kai's Ched Dark H2O, thank you for the super chat. What's the biggest thing you think Bethesda has to work on to release a great game? Accountability and story rating is what I think. Polish. And by that, actually, no, let me take that word back. Polish is not the right word, because Starfield was polished. Quality bar. It needs to be higher. Like, there just has to be more stuff canceled. I know hindsight 2020, but now that I've seen how bad things can get for them with Shattered Space, with Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, it's embarrassing, but dude, you got the shit kicked out of you over these things, man. They were terrible. Stop fueling the fire. These things do not need to come out. They need to do better. That, to me, is just that. And the accountability is there, but also I think they need to be smaller. They need smaller teams. They need less middle management. There's a video that I'm going to make probably within the next week talking about that lore master from Elder Scrolls that worked at Bethesda up until 2023. And it's one of the few times we actually have seen Todd Howard in a bad light as a boss, as a manager. Like, usually people speak very highly of him, and for good reason. He's a great guy, it seems like. And all the people who he's worked with have seemed very happy with him. But it seems like the changes at Bethesda Game Studios are because of all that middle management and how much they've grown. So to me, it's becoming smaller. I think Bethesda's better when they're smaller, creating that chemistry, creating that familial bond among a team. And then the quality bar just needs to go up. Redundant, obviously, because we all know that, but it's true. All right. What else we got here with the super chats? Juan Castillo, thank you for your super chat here. Remember demos, almost all games. Oh, demos. You capitalized it with a capital D. So I read it as demos. Remember demos? Almost all games had it. Bring it back. They do have more demos now than really they used to. Especially Square Enix does a great job with it. Sega does a great job with it. I feel like Japanese companies have really supported demos where you like play it and then the save carries over. Like Dragon Quest VII Remake just got a what's it called? A demo. You can carry that save over. Can't you see what happens? How food motivated I am? My speaking's going to shit. I'm stuttering in the middle of my sentences. My God, man, feed this beast. Okay, what do we got here? Spry Philly, thank you for your $10 super chat. Hey, Maddie, hope you're doing well. I got to know, what's your favorite complete in box original Xbox game? Oh, what a great question, man. Oh, man, original Xbox game. Hold on, I got one right here. This might be one. Hang on. No, close. I was thinking Shenmue 2. This one I have so many memories with. It's not really like great complete in box. Yeah. My immediate answer was Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb is my favorite complete in box experience. It's not my favorite game, but incredible manual. But that wasn't just original Xbox. I played it there, but it was also on PS2. Oh, I think I got it. Hang on. Yeah. I think. Hold on. Gotta check one more. That's a good one too. That's a good one too. Damn. I'm gonna go with Blinks the Time Sweeper for now. I love this game. This is a 4D action platformer. How about that? This game's complete in box experience is great because it comes with, remember this? Microsoft Games Studio, right? Let me zoom in. Microsoft Game Studio, right? And then on the inside of this pamphlet is like all these upcoming, let me make sure I have this in frame, by the way. I'll bring up OBS. You have all of these different games that were coming up. This was NFL Fever, NBA Inside Drive. So it's got like those memories of like old Xbox promotions. Because again, you can see here, it's a little blurry, but Microsoft Game Studios, we're going to see that real soon, I think, by the way. This one, like back of the manual, it's got the button combinations. Front, beautiful. The inside, colorful, illustrated, character models on the side. Oh my God. Look at this. Look at this. Beautiful. So I just think for me, splashy colors, beautiful game. I love Blinks the Time Sweeper so much. Great question. I'm seeing in chat that we got some Clockwork Revolution news to go through. I'll check that out in a little bit here. For now, let's get the rest of the super chats done. Thoughts on Return to Silent Hill? Will you be checking out theaters? Absolutely. 100%. I love Silent Hill. So anything Silent Hill related, I'm in on. And I kind of find the original Silent... Which one? The one that has the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack with the Silent Hill 1 style plot. Found that to be a little underrated, personally. Not sure if you're getting off after this, Maddie, but can send over a couple articles on Clockwork and Gears of War. All good if you're saving them. Let's save them for now because I only have one more news document here, and then maybe we can do another run on Friday and just see how that goes, right? Because I don't have any news prepared for it, and it's just to be real-time interpretation. I don't know. Let's see here. What time is it? It's about to be 5. We're going live with a video in... Yeah, let's just wrap. We'll wrap up with this final one here because we're going to go live with the video soon. And so I want to make sure we have time to let the channel breathe before then. Thank you, Full Metal Kettle. Very nice of you to say. Appreciate it. Josh, feel free to send it on Discord if you want, and then I can add them to our news template here. For those who want to see how the sauce is made here, this is basically what we do. Emmett, who's going to be helping out the channel, made it. And basically, I took his template, which he like started down here, and then this is how we run this show. So, yeah, I thought you guys might enjoy that. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't care. I like showing how we make things. I think it's important. Let's hit this final story, though. This is a little bonus one. Let's talk Sonic. Yeah, we're going to talk a little Sonic the Hedgehog here. What's next for the Blue Blur? Well, let's start off here. Video Games Chronicle has the post. They say Sega announces Sonic 35th anniversary and plans to celebrate Sonic's legacy here. Alongside a new anniversary trailer designed to build hype and rewind through Sonic's best moments, Sega has promised a high-energy slate of anniversary programs designed to celebrate Sonic's legacy while bringing fans together around the world. That includes digital content highlighting Sonic's evolution across decades, fan meetups, brand and retail partnerships featuring limited merchandise. I can guarantee you that... What's the t-shirt company that oh my God, I'm spacing on it. God, they've partnered with Dragon Ball. They've partnered with... Oh my God, I have so many of their clothes. I can see it. Their logo is red. Someone in chat help me. Oh my God. What is it? Someone's going to help me out in chat. But anyway, I guarantee that they'll do a shirt line with that company. Museum pop-ups, art exhibits, live concert celebrations, and a brand new narrative podcast. Very interesting here. Additional 35th anniversary inspired content, partnerships, collectibles, and fan experiences will be revealed throughout the year. There's no mention of a new Sonic the Hedgehog game, but it's rare for the mascot to skip the annual release. So, yeah, for those who have... Uniqlo, thank you. Thank you, Leo Blue. Uniqlo, that's who it was. I was like, who the hell is it? They'll do a Uniqlo partnership, no doubt about it. Punch it in. Anyway, when it comes to the video games, right? Sonic the Hedgehog has had quite a few games over the years. Every year you get a new game. 2022, Frontiers. 2023, Sonic Superstars, which was that kind of 2D, 3D game. Sonic X Shadow was 2024. Awesome game, by the way. Sonic Racing Crossworlds, also an amazing game last year. So what's the game this year, right? Well, one thing that you shouldn't expect, my friends, unfortunately, are remakes and remasters here. This, again, is Video Game Chronicles. And they write, Sonic team boss Takashi Iizuka has told fans not to expect remakes of classic entries in the Sonic Adventure series anytime soon. Heartbreaker. Speaking in a recent interview with Shack News, Iizuka, who directed both Dreamcast Sonic Adventure games, was asked about the possibility of bringing the series back as remakes or remasters, but said that he'd rather put the energy required into making entirely new titles. Wow, how about that? Double-edged sword here. I would love to see Sonic Adventure come back, but I think I'd rather than make a third one. I am really appreciative of everyone who likes the Sonic Adventure series, but when I think about it, what it would take to bring that game to the standards and expectations of what the modern gaming audience would want, I think it would be about as much time and energy as it would be to make a new title. So part of me is thinking maybe I should just make a brand new title, and that's why there are currently no plans. Now, VGC previously asked him in 2022 if there was any desire to continue the series with a potential third game. At the time, he said there were no such plans, but he did confirm a desire to one day revisit the series. He said in the future, yes, Sonic Adventure 3 is an idea that at some point it'd be cool to maybe explore. I love how, like, companies have free money and they just say, like, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. Like, Frontiers carries so much of the spirit of adventure. You would just think, like, hey, let's just make Sonic Adventure 3 now. We have all the pieces to do that. I mean, I love Frontiers. It's a great 7 out of 10 game. But not doing Adventure 3 is crazy. Is that, like, every company has their break glass in case of emergency video game? I always said, like, Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed in Japan was that for them. With Bethesda, I think it's the Fallout remasters. Like, here we go. And in the case of Sega, I think it is Sonic Adventure 3. So, with that in mind, what is next for Sonic? What is next for the Blue Blur, if not remasters and remakes? And we're having a 35th anniversary with no game announced here. Let's go to Nate the Hate, who was asked to leak the next 3D Sonic game. And he said, do you like Frontiers? So yeah, it's been long rumored that it's going to be a Frontier sequel. And I think this makes a lot of sense. I've been eager to see that. Again, Sonic Frontiers came out in 2022. So 4 years in, feels like it's time to see what the Sonic team's been cooking up there. And a lot of the mods for Sonic Frontiers were incredible. So I do hope that they've taken inspiration from those, particularly like physics and gameplay. And I think that would be awesome. But yeah, not like a huge story here. Just want to talk a little Sonic ultimately. Just, you know, get the Blue Blur in there somehow, right? Like the whole idea with some of these streams is just to get those topics in that I won't have a chance to, you know, talk about on the main channel. So yeah, that's the Sonic story, man. Shout out to the Blue Blur. And that's all the news I've got for you today, y'all. At least that I planned, right? But curious to get your thoughts as we sort of round things out. Because like I said, I have a video set to go live in about an hour. So if you want more Maddie, let me tell you what, you're going to get more Maddie. Well, that's an interesting question. I love your vids. Out of curiosity, did you play Kentucky Road Zero? Great indie game. If you did, what's your thoughts on this? I have not played it, but that's an interesting call out there because that game's name reminded me of that racing series that Bethesda published at one time on horses. You need your Sonic fix. Yeah, a little bit. Like, Sonic Racing was incredible. Shadows Generations was incredible for Sonic standards, by the way. So for me, like, I feel pretty fed as a Sonic fan. In fact, my least favorite part about Sonic right now are the movies. That's my hot take. I don't think the movies have been like, I really liked Sonic 2 when I saw the movie, but what I've realized with that is like, then after that, Locke and I started Retro Revive. And after we started Retro Revive, I saw a lot of really incredible movies and understood cinema better than I ever have. And because of that, I went back and revisited these old Sonic movies and I was like, this shit sucks. Like, it's for kids, of course, so I'm not going to over critique it, but like Sonic 3 being so beloved, I'm like, I'm the hugest Shadow fanboy. And I just was like, no, sorry, but no. But yeah, dude, I like where the games are at. So for me personally, I'm excited for whatever they do next because it's kind of been just leading the charge for my Sonic enjoyment. I love that the movies and the games have kind of existed naturally together. A lot of what Sega's doing is what I wish, I think CD Projekt Red's kind of doing it, but I wish like Bethesda finally got on that wave. So maybe they're finally getting there. Yeah, just good times. Sonic. Corey, it's too early to say what platforms we're coming to. So I apologize. I appreciate that you want to build a PC for it, but just we'll make sure you know when the time's right, but we're not going to wall ourselves in on that yet. We're just trying to make the game first. Mr. Movie Snob now. I'm not trying to be you're right. It is movie snob type behavior, but like I'm not trying to be a snob when I say this stuff. I'm just trying to say to you all like my favorite movies are like It's a Wonderful Life, Blade Runner. Little snobby. So it's kind of just a natural thing, but like I think the Sonic movies, like the human part of the stories are so ass. And then the other problem I have with the Sonic stories is, without spoiling, in case anyone wants to see it, I don't want to ruin it for you. I think Sonic 3 as a movie pulled its punches. Like those heartfelt moments between Sonic and Shadow were short-lived. The tension between Sonic and Knuckles got thrown away like that. Like, I feel it's so easy to hype these things up because people are like, oh, it's for kids. But suddenly the games come around and the games have these really like Shadow Generations is a great story, sincerely. It has like very serious themes attached to it. And I look at that and I'm like, so suddenly this game is also, now the games are also for adults. Like, why? But the movies are for kids? It's like, no. We're bailing them out. I'm going to be a movie snob. This shit could be way better. So, yeah. Juan Castillo, thank you again for your super chat. Do I like No Country for Old Men? Yes, I love that movie. That was the movie that turned the corner for my brain on how movies are different and how I need to understand them on a deeper level. Because when I first started watching it for Retro Revive, I was frustrated because I talk about it on the episode. I said I was frustrated because I didn't get it. I was like, this sucks. Like, I hate this. But then halfway through, I started to accept it for what it was. And I understood some things about it. I was like, the way its messaging is conveyed, the way it's shot, but also like lack of music, like the story decisions they make by the end of it. Like it's such a compelling, incredible film. And I adore that movie. I really do. It's one of the main movies that's responsible for me falling truly in love with movies again, because I was like, that was such a different experience. And I know, like, call it. Like, of course, that's like the iconic part of the movie that people love to reference, but just the fact that I watched the whole movie without music in it and didn't register it until it was over, I think was incredible. But also just the story and everything, just film made me realize how behind video game stories are, because these stories that last an hour and a half up to 3 hours convey so much more to me than games I've spent 20, 30, 40 hours with. If you've noticed, especially on Retro Rebound. Let me bring up the channel real quick here. Let me bring it up here. If we go to Retro Rebound, you'll see a lot of the content I've made lately is by the way, thanks for supporting the channel. This has been awesome to see how well it's done. A lot of philosophical conversations lately. Harsh truth on video games, insane state of game collecting, why platinum trophies suck now. There's a touch of indoctrination happening because you start to realize some of the things that really do suck about games when you watch great film and you know how old film is. And like before that were books, and I've been reading some great books lately. So you realize like gaming and its storytelling is in such an amateur place right now. And that's why I don't feel so crazy anymore. Like when people are like, stop hating on Avowed story, as an example, I know I always beat up on Avowed, but people are like, stop hating on Avowed story. I'm like, okay, fine. It's not Baldur's Gate 3 and that's what you think I expect from it, whatever. But then I start to look at like all the stories that are across all entertainment mediums. And I'm like, dude, you know what? No, this shit's not acceptable. So that's kind of how my brain's been transforming over these last couple of years here. You know, it's just understand. Norza, bro, good to see you, man. Miss you. Good movie suggestion. I'll write that down. Warfare? It's an interesting one. Because I've not heard of that. So I like when people come to me with like blind movie pitches. They're like, you've never heard of this thing? Try it out. You'll love it. But yeah, just the way I've been thinking about video games, and their stories, I think has been spurred on by like exploring more culture out there. I still am a capital G gamer, but like, I think I realized that only playing video games because it was my preferred method of storytelling was actually doing a detriment to me understanding what great storytelling truly was. I knew what great storytelling was, but then seeing it across all these different mediums and then bringing it back to games, you realize like how much is just left on the table for a lot of these video game stories. Deactivated LeBron saying, I just got a jury duty. Here's my daily wage. Hey, salute. Thanks for doing your part, man. All right. Thank you. Hey, I'm going to get out of here now. I'm actually fucking starving. I'm just going to shoot it with you guys real here for a moment. I am hungry as hell. I didn't have lunch because this was just like an impromptu thing, but this has been amazing. I'm so happy with how this all went. I cannot say enough about how great you all have been, how fun this has been. We'll no doubt be doing this more. We'll be live tomorrow to talk about the developer direct and watch that together. So look out for that. But dude, sky's the limit right now. This was a ton of fucking fun. Appreciate the super chat support because these could also easily replace video slots. But man, just so happy with how this went. I'm going to go upstairs and just geek out to my wife about this. This is so awesome. So thank you for being here. Stay well, stay healthy. Again, we'll be live tomorrow. Video's about to come out in like an hour. So keep an eye out for that if you want to watch my thoughts on the Fallout remake rumors. But until then, everyone, just again, thanks for being here. And we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.